On our 16th birthday, during my celebratory party, I discreetly offered her a slice of cake. In a hushed tone, I asked if she had a wish. Kennedy replied, "I wish I could live in your shoes for a day," before extinguishing the candle. I suggested she take my place as Hannah and go upstairs. As she did, the room erupted into a chorus of happy birthday, and our extraordinary secret remained concealed for the time being. No one suspected the switch, not even our parents. After our 16th birthday, Kennedy and I began swapping places more frequently. Kennedy was exceptionally bright. Once, she even attended school as me. Our math teacher presented a challenging equation on the board, and Kennedy confidently raised her hand to attempt it. The teacher hesitated, asking, "Hannah, are you sure you want to tackle this?" Kennedy replied, "Yes, I'm sure," and she proceeded to solve it correctly. The classroom erupted in cheers. We decided that Kennedy would handle our academic responsibilities at school, while I would manage sports and social activities. During a weekly football game at school, I was enthusiastically cheering when a boy named Cameron caught my eye. He blew me a kiss, and after the game, he asked me out on a date. Over ice cream, he sweetly kissed my cheek and requested that I become his girlfriend. Eagerly, I rushed home to share the exciting news with Kennedy, but her reaction was perplexing. "Ah, Cameron? The football star," she said with anger. "Why would you want to go out with him? He's a total jerk. Do you even know him?" I retorted, "Remember, we're living the same life, Hannah. Your boyfriend is my boyfriend, and your life is my life. Be careful." In frustration, I ushered Kennedy back to her room and locked the door. I refrained from visiting her for several weeks. Meanwhile, I noticed my mother secretly bringing food into the basement, but I kept their well-kept secret to myself. Cameron and I were deeply in love. One evening, he took me out to dinner and gifted me a heart-shaped necklace. Overwhelmed with delight, I exclaimed, "It's beautiful. I love it." I removed the keychain my brother had given me, and Cameron lovingly placed the new necklace around my neck. We exchanged kisses and warm embraces, and he even mentioned the possibility of marriage someday. However, my yearning to share this news with Kennedy grew stronger. One night, I ventured down to the basement to unlock the door, and as I did, tears welled up in my eyes. "I'm deeply sorry for leaving you locked in here for so long," I pleaded, looking at Kennedy with a heart full of remorse. She met my gaze with a stoic expression and replied, "Don't worry, Hannah. I understand. We're sisters. I can never hold it against you." With a warm hug, she pushed me onto her bed, and my keychain tumbled to the floor. She chuckled and said, "Have a good time, sis." As she locked me inside the hidden bedroom and vanished, panic surged through me. I screamed and pounded on the door, but my parents had soundproofed it meticulously, rendering my cries unheard. That night, my mother entered the room, and I eagerly greeted her, saying, "Hello, Kennedy." I leaped up and rushed toward her, pleading, "Mom, it's me, Hannah. Kennedy locked me in this room. Please, let me out." My mother's response was a sharp slap across my face. "Stop trying to get out, Kennedy. You know it's better for you to stay inside," she scolded. I wept, attempting to convey the truth, but my mother remained unconvinced. Night after night, she continued to visit, convinced that I was Kennedy. After a few weeks, I gathered the courage to inquire, "What's wrong with Kennedy?" My mother's response shattered my heart. "Kennedy, you're not mentally stable. You know that. You tried to harm your sister numerous times when you were younger. It was safer to keep you two separated." I was aghast. My loving sister, it seemed, had a deeply troubled side I had never known. I resigned myself to the grim reality that I might never see the light of day again. Even as I screamed and explained, my mother remained steadfast in her belief that I was Kennedy. On our 17th birthday, Kennedy finally made another visit. She appeared in a black hoodie, black pants, and heavily applied makeup. "Let's swap clothes," she demanded. Without hesitation, I complied. "Go upstairs, Hannah. Enjoy your life," she urged. Overjoyed to regain my freedom, I darted upstairs without questioning anything. This year, there was no birthday celebration. I dashed to my bedroom, my heart racing. What had Kennedy done to my room? It was unrecognizable, with the walls painted black, resembling a macabre graveyard. Panic set in as I called out to my brother Ethan. I hurried to his room, but he was nowhere to be found. Frantically, I rushed downstairs, shouting, "Mom, where's Ethan?" My mother's tearful response shattered me. "Hannah, your brother's been injured. Someone attacked him. We don't know who did it." She explained that it happened down by the park when a stranger had struck him on the head with a blunt object. No witnesses, no clues. The following day at school, all eyes were on me. Whispers and pointing fingers filled the hallways. I assumed it was because of what had happened to Ethan. Desperately missing Cameron, I ran toward him, eager to share my feelings. However, he halted me with a stern command, "Don't ever come near me again, Hannah." He pushed me aside, leaving me bewildered. Inside the classroom, my teacher's disapproval stung as she remarked, "Hannah, another failed exam? You've truly let me down. Kennedy had effectively destroyed my life. Nobody wanted to interact with me. I was no longer a part of the cheerleading squad, and it seemed I had withdrawn from all my sports teams." That night, I sobbed in my bed, consumed by despair. Then, a hard object beneath my pillow caught my attention. A rock, seemingly used to harm someone. A chilling thought crossed my mind. Had Kennedy been responsible for Ethan's injury? I couldn't endure Kennedy's torment any longer. I stormed downstairs to confront her, but her room had vanished. In its place, a locked door stood, barricaded by a solid wall. They never discovered the identity of the person who had hurt Ethan. Gradually, life at school returned to normal, and Cameron and I reconciled. He assured me of his desire to marry me, despite the tumultuous events. Even after repeatedly questioning my parents about Kennedy, they persisted in denying her existence, perpetuating the pretense that she had never been part of our family. In search of a fresh start, Cameron and I moved away from our hometown, hoping to begin anew elsewhere. He was the sole believer of my account concerning Kennedy. On certain days, an eerie sensation gripped me, making me feel as though Kennedy's watchful gaze lingered even when I strolled through a mall, catching my reflection in a mirror and involuntarily gasping, mistaking it for her. The uncertainty of her whereabouts haunted me. Cameron and I lived a nomadic life, always on the move, driven by the fear that Kennedy might resurface and threaten our relationship once more, just as she had in the past. During one holiday visit to my parents, I noticed a letter on their kitchen counter from a mental institution. It unveiled the truth that Kennedy had been institutionalized and was now receiving the care she needed under strict supervision. Cameron and I could finally breathe a sigh of relief and begin building our own family together. And as fate would have it, I received some joyous news today. I'm pregnant with twins.